G'day folks. Well, it's time to give Blue Wrap a little bit of attention, and this time I'm going to do the, excuse the wind, it's getting a bit nasty out here, but I'm going to do the rear shocks because as you can see that one's a bit oily. That one's still okay, but they're worn, and that one's starting to clunk. The bushings in the top are gone. If I grab a hold of it and move it up and down side to side, it moves laterally and clunks. So yeah, that needs to be addressed. I've got two new ones in a box, so I should just be able to slide under here and undo it, although it does look like there's a nut behind there, so I might have to jack him up and get the take the wheels off. Not quite as easy as I thought, but give it a try. It would be nice if I can just slide under here and do it without having to do anything like remove wheels, but anyway. The old diff mounts and everything. The diff mounts are getting a little bit sad. I know guys actually fill them with urethane polyurethane corking, that sort of thing. You just go to Bunnings and get a tube of Sikaflex or something like that, and basically fill and cast the centre with that stuff, and it takes a lot of the excess play out without any real extra vibration. These are a little bit underbuilt for what they do. There's two round canister type ones up the front there, and then there's the main one at the back. So that'll also be a fun video. CVs are still good, they're not leaking or cracked. But yeah, I want to try and do these shocks tonight. If not, maybe tomorrow. I want to go on a bit of a drive over the long weekend, so I'd rather do them now before I load up and go. So yeah, that's tonight's little job. There we go. That other end is just part of the stud that these mount on, so it is actually a replaceable item, but you don't have to take that other end off. You just undo this and then pry it off. It looks like there's a sleeve over it as well. Replaceable or expendable sleeve. I'll see if it's flogged out enough to bother replacing. They do come with the shocks, but if it's not worn I won't bother replacing it because it looks like it's rusted on. Spanner was an M14, 14mm metric. Yeah, gotta love M14s. Kind of a descendant of the M1 Garand. More fun than an M16. Just personal opinion. Mind you, it's very hard to get a hold of such things in Australia. I have to go up to Queensland if I want to have a bit of fun with a real M14, and I'm not talking about spanner sizes. I'm talking about something that goes bang, bang, bang when you pull the trigger. I'm getting off topic. Doesn't matter. It's one of those afternoons. A bit tired, a bit loopy, and just want to get something done. Oh well. Let's see if I can pry that out. Okay, well, I took all the nuts and washers off, and this one just gently dropped away through the hole. It's not very happy. They also weren't very tight either, so I was just getting a bit of a clunk from the washers. At least I hope that's what the clunk is. I know that one's sad because it kind of fell through the hole. This one here is still charged with nitrogen. You can push down on it and it springs back up. That's what they're supposed to be. They use nitrogen and another washer on top inside the cylinder to basically keep a lid on the oil and prevent foaming, particularly over rough roads. These are the same. These are fairly inexpensive. It was about 80 bucks a set with free shipping off eBay or something like that. It was without showing the delivery address. CV Joint Australia Proprietary Limited. Yeah. What did it do? Oh, it came by Fastway Couriers. Okay, that's why it was so quick. That's really good. You get free courier service on them, and yeah, if I pop this off, banding. Should just cut the bloody thing. There we go. It extends. That's because it's charged with nitrogen. Not a lot. But enough. Yeah. Anyway. That one's still okay. That one's definitely not, because it's kind of collapsed. There it is. just get him off. Yeah, it's been leaking oil and everything. It's just dropped its guts essentially. Okay, well if there are bushings on here, there isn't much wall material on there for the threads. It doesn't look like, but I bet you there is a bushing. It's just become one with the stud. So I'm not even going to attempt to get that off. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Cleaned up fine. There's no major pitting on either of them, so I'm just going to put some rubber grease on them and install the shock. The top end goes through that hole up there first, and then I've just got to be able to compress it up and push it on. Very easy. And again, I'm not doing this with any jacks or anything. The car's just sitting on the ground. Good Blue. He's tall enough for me to crawl underneath. Yeah, 5-link rear end. Lots of bushings and things to replace eventually, but not impossible, not too hard. Yeah, got an interesting setup, but very effective. I like it. I love the way these drive. Okay, well the first one's in place. A little bit of confusion over the washers though, because these are the old ones, and as you can see the washer with the step on it's on top. Now the way these are coming pre-assembled, the washer with the step on it's on the bottom, pushing up against the body, so I'm leaving them as that because it looks like they might have put these in wrong, hence why they were clunking. So yeah, I'm going to leave it. They're not hard to change around, so if it is the wrong way around I can change it, but as long as it doesn't clunk I don't really care. I mean, it's not going to do any damage. But they're the old ones. Again, there's a top washer, the bottom one, and what's left of the rubber. They're not incredibly bad, but they're still compressed enough to be a problem. So yeah, that's in there. And that is in place, just has to be bolted on the bottom. Easy. Okay, well, suspension's certainly a lot better. Doesn't rebound. Well, basically no rebound. Normally I can just sort of bounce up and down on the back and get a couple of rebounds. Now that doesn't happen, so Blue's going to be a different animal on the road now. Very good. I've compressed the rubber about half of its thickness. I'm not going to, like, you don't crush the crap out of it. If they do start clunking, I'll either tighten it a bit more or take these off, pull it down from outside and just take that top washer off and put it under here like the old ones were, but I'm leaving them as they came. Same deal with this side, it's evenly tensioned down, should be just fine. As long as they don't clunk, I'm happy. And well, as long as they do what shock absorbers are supposed to do. That's got to go like that. There we go. And the stuff I lubricated the bottom bushings with is, well, suspension bushing grease. I think it's molybdenum disulfide grease. I got a whole bunch of these from a supplier. They were supposed to go with old bushing kits or something like that, but they gave them to me just for lubricating rubber bushings or urethane bushings, that sort of thing. Basically anti-squeak grease for suspension bushings. So yeah, and helps with fitting. The other options, don't use petroleum greases because it will attack the rubber. Use a water-soluble type thing like KY jelly. I had a tube of that in the toolbox, but it's just been cooked by the recent week of heat and it's basically useless. Very old too. But yeah, KY jelly or proper rubber bushing grease for pushing suspension bushings and things together because, well, it works and it doesn't attack the rubber like, say, axle grease or oil or something like that. We'll never use engine oil or something like that to lubricate rubber bushings. Anyway, I think we're done for the night, or the afternoon anyway. That'll do. Everything's set, tightened, bottom bolts are on and torqued. I just did them up as tight as they were when I took them off. They're not going to come off again. I was going to use Loctite, but again that's probably overkill. So no, we're good. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more. Oh yeah, they're the old shocks. That one there obviously wants to stay extended, and that one doesn't. What does that say? Toyota. Yeah, that's an OEM shock. It's got a part number there, 48531-42032. Tokiko, Japan. Okay, probably original. See all the oil and leakage. That one's alright. Caution, gas filled, do not open, do not heat. That one works, but it's still not quite as good as the new ones. Certainly not as good, especially if they're original. Anyway, that'll do.